All right, and we are back here on the GSMC Football Podcast. And for the third part of the show, we're going to talk about a pair of running backs, Saquon Barkley and Dalvin Cook. So Saquon Barkley's bright future and Dalvin Cook's uncertain path, as I have it labeled here for the show segment. So with Saquon Barkley, so there's an article about Parris Campbell, who also used to play for the Giants for at least one season, and that was in 2023. He predicts Saquon Barkley will excel in Philadelphia. Campbell believes Barkley can become the best running back in the NFL with the Eagles' offensive line. Barkley's potential in Philly seen as a result of the team's offensive strategy, including Jalen Hurts' ability. So him joining the Eagles' offense, I mean, they got a star-studded offense. You got the offensive line. No Jason Kelce anymore, which hurts. But you still got Lane Johnson there. And how many of you guys, if you're watching this, saw Jason Kelce and Lane Johnson at WrestleMania? I didn't watch it. I did see a couple of clips of it, but they both made an appearance there. Jason Kelce living it up after retiring. But you got Jalen Hurts, you got A.JBrown, Dallas Goedert, Devontae Smith. They got a star-studded offense. And adding Saquon Barkley to that, he should do very well with the Eagles. Barkley's career with the Giants was marked by ups and downs, including injuries and just the team not being very good. Now, right now, I think most of us would say that Christian McCaffrey is the best running back in the NFL, and he's in a great spot with the 49ers. And I think Barkley's still got some good mileage left on him. You could still get a couple of good years out of him. The problem is, he's gotten hurt. You know, there was only really 2 years where he was healthy. Every other year, he's been hurt. And 2020 barely played. He played in one full game and then got hurt the next week against the Bears, tore his ACL, unfortunately. Campbell's optimistic about his own role in the Eagles' offense under Nick Sirianni, and whom he has familiarity with. Oh yeah, that's right, because they were both with the Colts. Campbell aims to carve out a role himself in the Eagles' wide receiver room, confident in his abilities. To be honest, I don't really see it. I don't really see him having a huge role with them. Now again, he's there for depth because look, you got A.JBrown, you got Devontae Smith, and they also signed Devontae Parker. So yeah, you're kind of like that fifth or sixth guy, fourth guy maybe. But you also got to make the team. Maybe he could be someone that's cut after the preseason. So he's going to have to carve out a role. He's going to have to have a good preseason. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, maybe the Eagles are like, you're going to be on this team regardless. I have no idea. But with Saquon though, Saquon, if he's healthy, he should, and I always say if he's healthy, he should have a very good year with the Eagles. And the Eagles, they didn't run the ball as great as they did the previous year when they went to the Super Bowl. And I think now with the coordinator changes, they should be better. I think that collapse, I honestly, I don't know what happened. I still can't wrap my head around that collapse that they had after starting off 10-1. And I was saying it, people on TV were saying it, all across the league. They still hadn't played their good football yet, despite being 10-1. But then they played the 49ers, and the 49ers really just brought it to them. And that just changed the complexion on the season, because then the Eagles really just did not play well down the stretch, and then ultimately lost to the Buccaneers in the playoffs. So I think with the coordinator changes, I think the offseason that they had, bringing in guys on both sides of the ball, and you know, the coordinator changes, they should be better in 2024. And I think Saquon Barkley is going to be a big part of that. Now, right now, who would you take? Would you take Saquon Barkley or would you take DeAndre Swift? Because DeAndre Swift, I thought, did a nice job. I guess you probably take Barkley. But I think the Eagles got to get back to how they ran the football in 2022. Because if they can get back to that with Saquon Barkley, this team is a Super Bowl contender. That just adds to it. And I think, on the defensive side, of the ball, that has to improve because the defense was horrendous down the stretch. But if you can get back to how you ran the football in 2022, like I said, put the Eagles in the Super Bowl contender category. Which I think, depending on how you do it, if you want to say overall or just in one conference. Like from the NFC side, I look at them as, top 5 team. Top 3, maybe. Because, you got the 49ers. Again, the Cowboys, they really didn't add this offseason. I feel like the Eagles have gotten better. So you're going to have those 2 teams. Who else am I missing? I would rank them over every team in the NFC South. You got the Falcons, though, with Kirk Cousins, so they're going to be better. But I still like the Cowboys and the Eagles over them. Well, no, but then you got the NFC North. You got the Packers and you got the Lions. I'd probably rank the Rams under those teams, especially with them losing Aaron Donald. So, you definitely put the Lions in the top 3. But then, you got the Packers. So that would probably be my top 5. You got both teams from the NFC East. You got the 49ers. And then you also have the Packers and the Lions. I think right now that is probably your top 5. And then the Falcons are like on the cusp. That's probably how I see it. So, but like I said, if the Eagles can get back to the 2022 Eagles, you put them in your top 3. I think. But we'll see. And I expect Barkley to do well. When he comes back and plays the Giants, it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt to see that, especially because he's with a rival. But I don't know. Maybe when I was younger, I would have been very bitter. I'm not bitter over it. Saquon leaving the Giants, that was probably the best thing for him. Because the way the Giants are right now, why would he have wanted to stay with them? Again, wish he would have went to the Texans, but going to the Eagles, I think they'll bounce back. They have too much talent on this team that they should be able to bounce back. But who knows? And if they don't, well, then Nick Sirianni's going to be out of a job. Because there were people calling for his job, and he's coming off of making a Super Bowl, making the playoffs. The previous season, before the Super Bowl, they did lose to the Bucs. They have a Super Bowl appearance sandwiched by 2 horrendous playoff losses to the Buccaneers. One with Tom Brady and one with Baker Mayfield. But he's turned it around. He was a part of the turnaround. But could also just be, he's got a lot of talent around him. Had good coordinators. Because once Shane Steichen left and Jonathan Gannon left, things changed. So it wasn't good in 2023, but now they changed coordinators, they added on defense, they got Barkley on offense. Let's see what they do in 2024. But I expect Saquon Barkley to do well. Parris Campbell thinks he's going to have a role on the team. Yeah, he might have a little bit of a role if an injury happens, but yeah, I don't know. I don't really see him doing that much. But I could be wrong. Maybe that's also because with the Giants, he really didn't do anything. So, and I actually did like the move when the Giants signed him, but maybe it just wasn't a good fit. So now let's get into the other running back stuff. Dalvin Cook. So he's still not on the team, but he did come out and he expressed confidence that he's still got some left in the tank. In his abilities, he's got fresh legs. He emphasized his resume and self-belief, stating, "I'm still Dalvin Cook. I'm still that guy." But here's the thing. He's coming off of a year with the Jets where it just was not good at all. And he was brought in as an insurance policy to Breece Hall, and Breece Hall was fine from the Week 1 game against the Bills. And Dalvin Cook just, really never got into a rhythm with the Jets, and ended up getting released, and he went to the Ravens. He had that one big run for like 20 yards against the Texans in the playoff game, but other than that, did not do anything with the Ravens either. And Dalvin Cook, you kind of see the decline a little bit with him. I mean, I thought in 2022 he still had a good year, but yeah, you did kind of see the explosiveness, some of that. It just wasn't the same. But with the Jets, it's like he fell off a cliff. So right now he remains unsigned, and you look across the league at all the moves that were made. I mean, Derrick Henry got signed, Saquon got signed, Tony Pollard got signed, DeAndre Swift, Austin Eckler, even Antonio Gibson of the Commanders. He went to the Patriots. So you see all these running backs getting signed, and Dalvin Cook is still sitting out there. And maybe if somebody gets hurt, he gets picked up. I mean, look what happened with Leonard Fournette. Leonard Fournette, the last couple of years with the Buccaneers, he was pretty good. And then he was unsigned. The Bills picked him up. They signed him to the practice squad. Played a little bit, but not that much. And then the Bills, they let him go. So who knows if Leonard Fournette's going to get another shot. Now Dalvin Cook, the way he played with the Jets, teams are just, it doesn't seem like teams are that interested. But again, if someone gets hurt, his name could be called upon. And that's definitely going to happen. You're going to see guys get hurt, unfortunately. I could sit up here and say, "Whoa, I hope nobody gets hurt. Hopefully it doesn't happen." Guys are going to get hurt. That's a guarantee. And especially now with the NFL having games being played on Wednesday, and you got Friday games now, and before you know it, we're going to have more added. We're going to have more regular season games. That's just going to continue. But that's a separate topic. Dalvin Cook, at some point, he will be signed. Whether that's to the practice squad or the active roster, he's going to get signed. But that doesn't mean he's going to make an impact. It just means, hey, we got an injury. We could use you as an insurance policy. But, yeah, I mean, he did not have a good year with the Jets. Like I said, he fell off a cliff. But the Jets the offensive line was not good. And there's other factors into his time with the Jets too. You can't just say it's only on Dalvin Cook. The offensive line for the Jets was not good. And he was brought in to be paired up with Aaron Rodgers, not with Zach Wilson. So you also got to look at it from that perspective too. But I get it though. He has started to decline. It's just then he got to the Jets and it was like you barely recognized him. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know if he'll get signed. But I said I think he would get signed, but I could be wrong. Maybe he might not get another shot. I think he will, but again, who knows? But with that being said, now we're going to take our final break of the show. And when we come back, speaking of Aaron Rodgers, we're going to talk about, in the final segment, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, him coming to the defense of Aaron Rodgers. And that will be the final part of the show. I'll give you my opinion on it. And that will wrap it all up for today. So, for one final time today, stick around, and we'll be right back here on the GSMC Football Podcast.